lot of different things. There's not just a way to be a woman, and you can use it as a tool to express yourself and your femininity and empower yourself. Women are getting brainwashed into and buying this idea, but it's not their idea, it's the image that men created for them. You're kind of like drunk,
right,
chic,
yeah,
showing her ass for attention, and you know.
Yeah.
Me like Diana. Diana Spaghetto.
This is the Cameron Adair podcast with me, Cameron Adair. This is episode 8. Today on the show is Diana Manfredi. Diana goes by Spaghetto. She's an Italian-American director. We met up at different first studios. In this episode, Diana talks about her film, Twerkumentary, the empowerment versus objectification of twerking. We talk about her father's artwork, moving to the US from Europe after college. We talk about Fairfax and why she's tired of directing music videos. Here's Diana. These, you can wear these if you want.
Okay.
And there's some water too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh my God, my voice.
Is that too loud?
Oh, you're recording already.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Next year my documentary will be out. So.
How long's it been since the crowdfunding campaign?
The Indiegogo campaign was last summer. So it's been a year. Yeah, I got the funding from them September. That helped so much.
Were you nervous at all about doing it before you did it?
Honestly, it was a horrible experience for me.
Oh, yeah?
Because I really don't like to ask just people, like friends or like fans or like random people for money like that, you know. But, you know, I was just like, okay, let's try this and see how it goes. It's so much work also. So much work.
Just the campaign?
Yeah, to promote everything. And because it's not that you just post it and everyone sees it. And I guess, I don't know, maybe very famous people, they just tweet once about it and everyone is going to donate. Like, but for me, it was really like non-stop promoting and campaigning, and it was good though, because besides the money that gives you, you know, the urgency to go out there and be like, hey, I'm working on this project, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So we had a lot of press through the campaign, you know, that was good. Like we were shooting in Europe when we were doing the campaign, and we had a lot of journalists and TVs coming to us, and we did a lot of interviews, so that was good.
You did a fair amount of PR to make it happen?
Yeah, I just did everything myself, you know. It was stressful, but it's good though. It's been like a year and a half altogether since the first interview. It's almost done. I just sent a rough cut to the Sundance Film Festival. It's a rough cut, so I don't know if it will get accepted or not because it's not completely finished. But
what about South by or some of the other ones? Slam Dance?
Yeah. If I don't get into the Sundance, I'm definitely gonna send it to the South by Southwest. I don't know when the deadline is, I think.
Is it feature length over 40? What's the length?
Yeah, it's a feature. It's
has to be 45
it's a little
or longer.
over an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think everything that is longer than 50 minutes, it's considered a feature.
50?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you're like got Diplo's house and hanging out Too Short and.
It's been so much fun. Yeah, Diplo, I went to his studio in Burbank, and it was very nice. It was an awesome interview because, he's very smart and he speaks so well. Like it was super, super quick. I sent him the questions, so he already knew what, he was gonna say. So it was very quick and everything he said was just perfect. Other interviews that I did was more like trying to get people to say something, but like with, of course, big artists, they were just so amazing. Like everything. The interview with Too Short, honestly, I can just use the whole hour. Everything he said was golden.
Wow. Is there anything specifically you do? Like you said, some people are reticent to give you what you want.
Well, because I didn't want just to interview like famous rappers or, like, because I think, my documentary is on twerking, is about twerking. And of course, it started a lot with the music industry, but it became this huge phenomenon that everyone, can do at home or post on YouTube. So a lot of the documentary is just people that just love it or hate it, but it's like everyday people. I didn't want to focus just on famous people,
Yeah. Right.
But then when you interview, people that have never been interviewed before, then it's kind of like you have to push them a little bit to try to.
Yeah, or just take the parts that you want and spin it. But yeah, who else do you have on there who've been some of your favorite interviews?
I have two favorite interviews that are really one of the opposite of the other. I interviewed this twerker in Copenhagen, and she goes by the name of the Twerk Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a psychologist. So she wrote a thesis on how twerk can empower women.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very, like, first of all, she can twerk like amazingly, like she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And but she has a very strong opinion about how you can use twerk to show that a woman can be, a lot of different things. There's not just a way to be a woman, and and you can use it as a tool to express yourself and your femininity and empower yourself, and and she has a very strong point of view, like she's very feminist about it. So that interview was very interesting. And another interview that I shot in London was kind of the opposite. I interview TV host / radio personality, journalist. She's a writer, Jamila Jamil. And I interviewed her in her house in London. And she's super intelligent, like her career is amazing and everything. Like she's really like a strong female character, and she was kind of totally against it.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. And she's very funny. So the interview was very funny, but basically for her it's not empowering at all. She feels that, in the music industry, we are going back to the 50s when men that are the heads of these record labels and are trying to sex up the image of all these, new artists. And she was very against it. For her, it's not freedom of expression at all. She feels that women are getting brainwashed into and buying this idea that they want to be sexy and and all of that, but it's not their idea. Is a image that men created for them.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like my idea of what it is very like in between these two, because I can see the truth in both sides.
Yeah.
That's why I like a lot these two interviews, because one is the opposite of the other, but I think both opinions are very true.
So how much on the objectification versus the empowering of it do you cover?
I put both aspects because I think there's, a part of objectification for sure, but also like all these girls, they're just starting like twerking and doing as an exercise, or, they really feel that is super empowering for them. So, if a woman says so, you can't really say that, that is not empowering and it doesn't make you feel good and all of that,
Yeah.
So I think another concept that I'm exploring in the film is, the idea of, intention versus perception. So sometimes your intentions are to empower yourself and moving, feminism or whatever forward. But what happens in reality is that the perception of what you do can be really different. And that depends, who is watching what you're doing, and you can't really control that. What you can control is the way you present yourself.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're twerking on stage at a party and you're completely drunk and you let guys slap your ass and all that shit, that of course is not an empowering image. That's just like, okay, you're having fun, no judgments, but you're also giving that, the impression that, you're kind of like drunk,
Right.
chick,
Yeah.
showing her ass for attention and,
Yeah.
So that gives more the idea that you are giving people power to touch you and to use your body instead of you having the power of being like, I'm a woman and I'm doing this because I feel good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it depends a lot how you present yourself, where you're doing it, how you're doing it. And
do you do narration through it?
I did some narrations, yeah. I mean, the documentary is kind of like me going around and trying to... Well, first of all, the first part of the documentary is really like the origins of it, like the history.
Mm-hmm.
And
but you're a character in the film itself. Like you're in it. Like people, if you watch it, someone would know who you are without having to look at the credits.
Yeah. Because also, like, there's so many, like, I travel so much to go interview all these people. So there's a part, like that starts in the US, of course. And then I'm leaving the US and I'm going to Europe to see, how the explosion of the twerk phenomenon, like, impacted people over there. Like, cultures that really didn't grow up at all, like, booty shaking. Because in Europe, we grew up like with, not myself, like I grew up with punk rock, whatever, but like the music that, usually people grew up with over there is more like techno or like house music. So you really don't booty shake at all. Like it's all in your arms and in your feet, like those are the movements.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting for me, to see all these twerking classes and all these girls twerking in videos and clubs, whatever, over there, because it was not like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. And it's just been what you've been doing the last year is just thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, it's, at the beginning I was just like, oh, I should, nobody ever did a documentary on twerking. I should do a documentary on twerking because I know a lot of people in the scene and it's something easy for me to do because, I do music videos, so I know some artists, like I can do that. And then it became something way bigger because once, I was like, oh, I'm going to tell the history of twerking. And then I'm like, wait, but that's so much more, because this thing now means so much for people in a lot of different ways. So it became like, now it's like 20 minutes of history of twerking and there's like 45 minutes of people just talking about,
Yeah,
how they feel about it.
A lot of people just see it as a passing pop culture phenomenon that is not important at all.
I know.
Yeah. And I mean, that's great that
I mean, you can also see it like that, you know, like it's not gonna change the world, or, you know, it's whatever, is really just a pop phenomenon. But the fact that...
But there's something there. I mean, there's ideas there that are worth
some
thinking about.
Yeah, there's some qualities that makes it different. You know, it's not like Gangnam Style or the Harlem Shake, just these things that become huge online, and after 2 months everyone forgets about it.
The Harlem Shake was an actual dance in Harlem from decades ago, and then it turned into something different online for a summer.
Yeah.
And no one even knows what the real Harlem Shake is.
Yeah. Totally.
Or the Macarena.
I'm not sure I know. Yes, the Macarena.
Does that make an appearance in the
movie? Yeah, maybe I should put some Macarena. Yeah, there were like so many of these, you know, things that became viral. But I feel now with Instagram and like Vine, and we just live in a different, you know, era, and things become huge all around the world. But I think there are really some qualities about, you know, twerking that makes it different, you know?
Yeah, it's there's gender stuff involved.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
A guy's not going to twerk unless he's gay. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Is that just my perception
well,
of it?
It depends. Like in New Orleans, the
Macarena is a gender neutral, it's a cisgender dance. But twerking is...
A lot of guys twerk, but yeah, most of them, of course, are in the gay community. But it depends where, because also, for example, like booty shaking was part of New Orleans culture for so many years, you know?
Right.
So they have, music. In bounce music, well, they move the whole body. It's not just their ass, of course. It's just not twerking. It's just... you know, shaking every part of their body. But also guys shake their butts a lot, you know? Like a lot of butt movements are part of the bounce, you know, movements.
Yeah, because I just know Nikki DeBee and Big Frida and stuff, you know. I mean, those guys are queens. So that's what I know about it. But there's actually a bounce documentary that someone did maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if you've seen that.
I saw it because it's funny, the way I saw it, they started talking shit about me on Twitter. When I posted my trailer for my documentary, I got all these tweets from someone that was very mad at me. And I'm like, what is this? And it was this director, and he was like talking on Twitter with the camera guy, I believe. And they were just talking and be like, oh, someone is doing something like the documentary that we did, and da-da-da-da. And it was very not the same thing, like at all.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the camera guy replied to this director being like, no, I think she's doing it very different, and her trailer looks way better, he said, or something like that. I was like, that's nice, thank you. No, but I thought their video was really good, actually. I liked it.
We got to be talking about the same one.
I
forget the director's name, but he's a Stanford grad, and he's
and they have Nikki,
Manny Fresh in it.
Yeah. But it's really about bounce. You know, it's not about twerk, it's about bounce culture, which is amazing, but it's definitely, you know, part of my film, but, you know, my film is about twerking, so it's...
Yeah.
I have a huge section about New Orleans, and of course we interviewed a lot of the same people, but yeah, mine is completely different. And it's funny because in my trailer at the time, I didn't even have the New Orleans part, you know. I shot big segment of it in New Orleans, but it was not in the trailer. So I don't even know why I got mad, because I had at the time I had in the trailer Krayshawn, Too Short, E40, like I had these people in the trailer, so it was so fucking different from their trailer.
Yeah, I wouldn't get mad if that were me. I would just sit back and see if you did a better job. And then if you did, I would shut my mouth, So, yeah, Twitter. But you were in the Caribbean or something, shooting
I went
dancers.
there. That's okay. That's funny because I went to the Caribbean because I won a cruise. I won a free cruise. My friend Andy actually won the cruise, and she asked me if I wanted to go with her, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I really wanted to interview some dancers there because they have in Tahiti, they have a lot of dances there. They gyrate a lot. It's kind of like the Hawaiian hula. And so I was like, that's great because, first of all, fuck yeah, a free vacation. Second of all, I can interview these dancers that I really wanted to interview. So we went there together, and I got an interview with one of the girls, and, I got a lot of B-rolls of them dancing. It was very cool.
Oh, so your friend...
Right now, it's not in the documentary, that part. I still have to figure out how to include that because I need to cut so much. The documentary is a little too long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if that was to shoot or I guess it was a little of both. Personal and...
Yeah, I definitely didn't have the budget to go to Tahiti to shoot an interview for the documentary, but I got a free trip there. So I was like, let's shoot. But yeah, it's interesting because they had no idea about twerking. They don't know what it is there. Because they have very limited access to the internet. So that's also part of the documentary too, how cultures that had it for so many years, they have no idea there is a thing now because they're not online as we are,
So your dad is involved in a lot of political stuff. He's a musician and a writer and a filmmaker, right? In Milan.
My dad is a writer. Yeah, he writes books and comic books mainly right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but he started out as, I actually listened to, I guess, his first record that was like a political record.
You did?
Yeah. From the late 70s.
Yeah.
In Milan, I guess there's a lot of political stuff going on as far as
rioting. It was very
anarchists.
Political, I guess, in the late 70s in Italy. Yeah, he was a singer and then he was an actor at some point, but he's mainly a writer. He's very artistic. He did a lot of different things. He's awesome. I was just in Italy this summer and he had a concert. So he was singing a lot of the old songs. It was very cool. He has very good lyrics because the thing is like, he's not, I mean, he can sing, but he doesn't have an amazing voice. It's more like, kind of like folk music, it's all about the lyrics and, what do you want to communicate and what you say. Yeah, it's the message more than the ability of singing. Like he can't play the guitar really well, like at all. Like he's not an amazing musician, but he can write really well. So yeah, it's crazy. Like after all those years, like people still sing his songs and,
Oh, really?
The show this summer was sold out. It was so funny to me.
Huh.
I mean, I'm so happy for him. It was awesome. I was very emo at the show. I was like...
Oh, so what does that mean?
Crying a little bit.
Oh, really?
Like, oh, Dad.
You're so proud of him.
I'm so proud. And I remember, all the songs growing up, just like listening to him, like singing at home, I guess. I don't know. But then it stopped for a lot of years. People are asking him now to play again. So he was like, okay.
You went to school in Milan, right? And then in Barcelona.
Yeah. I studied art in Italy. And then I wanted to, when I got into directing, I wanted to study documentary more. And at the time, they had this very cool master in direction of documentaries in Barcelona. So I just moved there. And then the year after, I moved to San Francisco.
And you were like shooting skaters and stuff.
Yeah, I had a skateboarding brand.
Oh, yeah?
Well, all my friends growing up were like skateboarders. And then I had a boyfriend for a lot of years, and he was a pro skater in Italy. So we kind of started this brand together, and he was doing all the graphics and the filming, and I was editing the videos and taking pictures. So I did that for a few years.
Before you moved out here?
Yeah. The first couple of years when I was here, I still tried to work a little bit with skateboarding. Like I helped like organizing skate videos premieres of American videos in Europe. So that was cool. And then I started working for a music production company and started filming and editing videos for them. Then they closed down and I moved to LA.
What production company?
To Be One Records. It was here in the Mission.
Doesn't exist anymore?
No. They were, I don't know if you remember that venue, the Maritime Hall. They used to organize shows there. So they had this huge archive, all these shows that were going on there at the time. I think it was one of the main venues in San Francisco years back. It didn't exist when I moved here, so it was over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember they had a crazy archive, and at some point they had my ex-boyfriend organizing the archive, and they had some like very rare shows recorded. Like they had a Jay-Z show, I remember, when Jay-Z was nobody. Like he was literally performing in front of 200 people. Yeah, some crazy shit. Some Black Eyed Peas. I don't know, some stuff like when they were nobody.
What brought you out here? You left with your boyfriend to San Francisco?
Yeah, I had a boyfriend at the time. And he was American. So yeah, I started coming here, and then we got married.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
While you were living in the city?
Yeah, we got married and we stayed together.
Not the pro skater.
No, that was in Italy.
Okay. Do you want to say who it is? Or just keep it off record? Okay.
I don't want to say the name.
Okay.
He was a skateboarder too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been ruthlessly just name dropping on this podcast. I've had to go back and beep some stuff out. So that's a regular occurrence. So how do you like LA?
I love LA. I like it a lot. I miss San Francisco, to be honest. Like LA is so huge. I like, just to ride my bike around and walk and see people on my block. That doesn't happen in LA. But no, I love it. For work is great. And actually, like, people are super friendly. Like, I met a lot of cool people there. So I'm very happy.
West Hollywood. That's where everyone moves.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved there, the first couple of months, I stayed in Venice. Didn't like it too much. I was like, I want to move to Hollywood. And I had an office for a couple of years. I just moved out. I was on Fairfax.
Right.
Because I was working with, still a little bit with skateboarding, but with, streetwear companies, making videos for them. And all my friends were on that block. So it was very cool just to be working next to my friends. And
yeah, I used to go down there and skate a lot when I was in college. And
Yeah.
we used to go
It's
skate at
changing a lot.
Supreme.
Like,
Is it?
it's
I don't
changing
even
a
know.
lot.
Because I was living down there when Supreme opened up, and then I left shortly after that, and it seemed like it changed a lot. Like,
Yeah. I'm sure even before I moved to LA, it used to be completely different. But like I moved to LA 5 years ago, and all my friends were always there. We would go there and hang out, and it was very fun. And then it started kind of like dying out a little bit, and I don't know. Now there are so many different stores opening. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just very different. There's way less sense of community, I guess, because that's what I liked about it. It was kind of like you go there and you know that all your friends are on the block for a reason or another, and everyone is busy doing something. Like, even if it seems like they're just chilling outside of a store, they're actually like, they're very good photographers, or like filmmakers, or rappers, or they're trying to start their own brand. Like, everyone is busy, and and there are a lot of talented people on that block.
yeah.
And
Yeah, last time I was down there, I was walking around, and it's always like that. I always run into somebody.
But I don't know, it's changing very fast. I moved out.
Where on Fairfax were you?
I was above the hundreds.
Oh, really?
I was on Rosewood, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, last time I was down there a few months ago, I was staying in downtown LA, and so I took an Uber down to Fairfax and just like chatting it up with people and saying what's up. But I still feel really out of my element. I don't really know anybody down there because all my friends from college bounce around a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they started shooting a lot of music videos there, and I don't know, it kind of became this thing, a lot of outsiders. Then I guess, the Other Future store opened, and that brought a lot of people, but it was kind of a cool crew for sure. But then they closed, and Pink Dolphin opened. I don't know, it's just a lot of things going on. And I think now Supreme they have like in-store releases, like very, very often. There are like lines around the block for weeks. Like when my office was there, like I would work till really late at night. There were all these people always sleeping in the street, waiting for days just to buy a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, it's always been like that.
I know, but man, it's a pair of shoes. The fuck, get alive.
Yeah. And what else? You have a couple sisters, right?
Yes. One lives in Berlin and the other one lives in Milano.
Cool. What do they do?
The one who lives in Milano goes to university. She's studying psychology. The one who lives in Berlin is a chef.
Oh, a chef? That's pretty cool.
But I don't see her enough because, every time I can take a vacation, whatever, I always go to Italy to see my family. And she used to be there, but now she's in Berlin. So unless I go to Berlin or she comes to Italy when I'm there, it's hard to see each other. This year, I saw her for a week. They're all here.
Yeah.
I don't know, for Italian families,
you're pretty
that sucks.
Yeah, my family's Sicilian, and everyone's, how it is. Everyone tries to stay really close, but I don't see my family that much, actually.
I try to go there twice a year, even if it's expensive, but I don't know. I need to see them. Mm-hmm. It's like, we miss each other a lot. I need to go back and see them. Are you in San Francisco now, or you're?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was living right over there for a long time. Mission and 19th is where I was. Actually on Mission Street. Oh. And this block that we're on now is the same one, that I lived on for so long. It's midway between the 16th and the 24th stops. Mm-hmm. So, and you're on Mission Street, so it's kind of like just dead center. Cap in 19th, and it's kind of.
Well, I remember like when I moved there, it was
zero.
super, super ghetto. I guess, between 25th and 24th, it was kind of like the border between sureños and norteños. I don't know, but like they were like shooting like crazy when I moved there.
Yeah, La Mara Salvatore.
Yeah, it was fucking dangerous. Like I used to hear like gunshots all the time, like cops on the block, like constantly. I think now I saw some signs they're selling some houses for like $4 million or whatever on my block. And I was like, what? Nobody wanted to live here like
in the early
8 years ago, you know?
Yeah, in the early 2000s, I mean, in the 90s, it was the borderline between the Sureños and Norteños. And that sort of changed slightly after that. But yeah, living on Mission, I mean, I'd see all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Assault rifles, just people losing their minds in the middle of the night. And crazy people running around the building. But I kind of like it. I like the noise.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person who, when there's noise and things happening, it makes me calm. If it's too quiet, it's a problem. So aside from working on the film, do you just do freelance stuff?
Yeah. I direct and I edit and I produce also. I take production jobs. I like them.
And a lot of that stuff doesn't have the Spaghetto brand on it.
No, a lot of things I just do it, you know, for other people or for money. Like I usually put the Spaghetto brand just when, you know, it's my own project and I'm really proud of it. Or if they hire me as a director, as, you know, they want this Spaghetto brand, you know, then yes. But, you know, if I produce a commercial for, I don't know, a fashion brand, I'm not going to put my name. Like, if they put the credits, I would put my real name, but I wouldn't brand it as, you know, Spaghetto production. If
have people just been calling you that for a long time, or where did the name come from?
Yeah, I had this name for a long time because back in Italy when I had the skateboarding brand with my ex-boyfriend at the time, the brand was called Spaghetto Child. It was like play on words of a brand called Ghetto Child.
Yeah, Chad Muska's brand.
Yeah, Chad Muska's brand. So I don't know, we were just like, you know, making fun, I guess, and like just like, oh, we're Italians, Spaghetto Child. We just had this crew of friends, and you know, like they were all skateboarders, but we were also artists. We would do like art shows and stuff. It was just like a crew of friends, and you know, we started like printing T-shirts and making stickers and, you know, filming videos and stuff. But then it became kind of popular. So it picked up pretty well. I don't know, the name was Spaghetto Child and people started calling us Spaghetto. I guess I was Diana Spaghetto. Be like, Diana, who? Diana Spaghetto.
Yeah, and then you just kept the name?
Yeah, I kept the name because I was doing all the video, you know, part of the brand, I guess. And when I moved to the US, you know, I kind of kept the name Spaghetto, and it's different, doesn't have anything to do with, you know, Spaghetto Child, but I kept the name because I liked it, and I called my company Spaghetto Productions.
Right. Was it hard to, when you first moved out here, to get work? But you were not that young though. You were in your like late 20s when you moved out here, right?
27 or something. Yeah, I mean, I was teaching Italian at the beginning, you know, like it took a little bit just to, because I had to rebuy all my equipment and just like meeting people. After a couple of years, I was making videos again, and really picked up really well when I moved to LA. I always worked here and made videos and everything, but like it kind of always stayed very local. When I moved to LA, it was, I think, you know, LA is a place where everyone from all around the world pay attention to, like they really check what's going on in LA. And I did, as soon as I moved there, I did a few videos. They did really, really well and got a lot of views. And they started calling me, like even from Europe. They flew me to London to shoot some videos, and like.
Yeah, that was right around the time I hit you up.
Yeah.
After the Nope video. And then I think this was at the end of 2012. You were shooting that video in London at the time.
Yeah, so that was like, 2 or 3 years ago, or I don't know, 3 years ago. And they started calling me a lot. But I think really being in LA is what made a big difference for some reason. Because I kind of always had that style of, colors and animations. And, well, I guess I developed that more when I moved to LA. It was just before I was doing skateboarding videos, so it was a little different. And when I started doing music videos, it was more for this company in San Francisco, and I couldn't really brand it like my videos. I was working, I had a boss, I was working for this company, so it wasn't like directed by Spaghetto, It was like, directed by my boss, and,
Yeah.
So then when I moved to LA was when I was like, oh, okay, now, I can do my own things and put my name out there. And so I started, branding myself a little more, and worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
It was also a good moment when I moved there was when a lot of friends in my circle were getting known. So, I helped them with the videos, but they also helped me because we got a lot of views.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
it was very mutual, like they needed videos, and, I had to just move there. I had the time to help them and try to do the best videos that I could with no budget for them. But it paid off really well.
I really like the TKO Capone video that came out shortly after around that time. And also the Brick Candy one's really cool too.
Yeah, that one
seemed like there's a bit of a budget on that one.
Yeah, we had a sponsor. They put some money. I changed a little bit because at the beginning when I was doing the first music videos, I really had no budget. So I was shooting everything myself. I started doing these animations because that was adding a lot of production value on the videos. But then, when I had labels hitting me up and like bigger artists and I had a budget, then I kind of stopped shooting the videos myself. I was hiring a crew and I was shooting on a red camera and all of that. So I guess the aesthetic changed a little bit, putting a little bit less animations, but I don't know, at some point I got tired of music videos and I was like, I need to do a different project. So I started this documentary and I've been just working basically on this for the last 2 years.
Well, it seems like a natural progression for someone with a filmmaking degree to start making music videos and then documentaries and then features. That's kind of normal.
I think when this, documentary will be out and, more things are gonna come. But I have been just working on this a lot in the past 2 years. So even people that ask me for music videos and stuff, I tend to say no. Yeah.
Well, it gets to a point where you're, at least for me, I know recently, you have to start raising the bar. Like no one's going to do it for you. If someone asks you to do something with no budget,
I had videos like, with okay budgets,
like,
but the thing is that like with music is this, like if you shoot like someone's video like with no budget, okay, you don't have a budget, at the same time you don't have any production expenses. If the budget is, I don't know, $500, you basically put $500 in your pocket. You don't have to spend anything for the video. The idea is simple. If you have $10,000 for a video, at the end of the day, you're still gonna put most likely like $500 in your pocket because yes, you have $10,000, but you're hiring like all these people and the location and all this equipment, and at the end of the day you spend $9,500 to make the video. So I don't know, there's not really a lot of money in music videos, and it's not really worth it for me.
Well, I know some
unless, you know, I do Beyonce, whatever, but she's not calling me anytime soon. So, you know, like, it's just, you know, $10,000 budget or $1,000 budget for me doesn't change anything, because, you know, if a label gives you 20,000, they want 19,000 to be spent for the video. And so it doesn't really make a difference. If I do that, or if I do $1,000 music video, and I can just keep the whole thing.
Yeah, there's people that survive just as a DP, if that's what you want to call yourself.
No, but the DP is different, you know, like DP, like I would work as a DP every day of my life. You're on set shooting, you know, you can do that every day, you know, and, you know, you charge $1,000 a day, whatever you charge if you own the camera. But for me as a director, it's different. It's the whole process. Like when someone asks you for a music video, they send you the song, you have to write a treatment, maybe 2 treatments, you know, like there's a whole process. Like it's not something that, you know, I show up and I shoot. It's like 3 weeks of your life, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not worth it, the money. Like at least for me, because I do everything by myself. Like I you know, I write the scripts and I shoot it, or if I don't shoot it myself, I'm doing the production for the whole thing, and I'm editing it, and like I'm doing the animations. It's like so much work, you know.
So what's going on with this documentary from here on out?
It's almost done. So I have a rough cut. It's like 1 hour and 10 minutes. I just wanna, you know, make it a few minutes shorter, and I need to do color correction and make better some graphic parts and add the credits. And
yeah, it looks like you got a lot of animation on there.
Yeah. The thing is that, again, I didn't have a proper budget for this documentary. So with the Indiegogo campaign, I covered the part of the travel expenses, but I can't really license like famous music, or like if I'm talking about a music video, I can't really show the music video. There are all these rights, and, you know, I don't have like money to hire a big, you know, lawyer that can help with all these clearances, and I can't license anything, because, like, you know, if I want to use like a super famous twerk song, that would be like $20,000 or something. Like I can't pay that shit, you know. So I'm doing a lot of animations also because I want to be able to show stuff without showing the actual stuff.
Yeah.
You know, instead of using like Miley Cyrus performing at, you know, the Music Videos Award, I'm just going to make a cartoon of her.
Yeah.
So it looks cool, because at the end it looks cool. There's a lot of animations. It just takes time, you know. Doing
documentaries, that's probably a huge concern, like IP stuff, because you're doing a fucking documentary. It's like, nothing's fictional.
What I'm doing, I'm trying not to use things that obviously I'm not going to be able to license. If I use some stuff, once I get distribution, they can deal with it, you know. But myself right now, I'm not going to try to license like Anaconda video or whatever, you know. That shit is not going to happen.
Right.
Unless I know, you know, the label or the artist. Like Diplo told me that, Diplo was like, yeah, you can use Express Yourself. And, you know, Nikki DeBee's manager told me, yeah, you can use Nikki DeBee's footage. And they sent me pictures.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know, like this type of people that I have a personal relationship with, it's fine.
He actually died between the time you, I think, were starting to do this and then got down there.
When I was in New Orleans, he was one of the people that I was going to interview.
Oh.
Because his manager was helping me a lot, setting up all the interviews. But when I was there, his manager was like, oh, Nikki is sick now. Like, it's, you know, like it's not the best moment to interview him now. You can interview him next time, And then after a few months, then he died. So I never interviewed him, but it was really sad. I wish I met him, but Diplo was really nice. I interviewed him, and I interviewed Lil Internet, the director of Express Yourself. And they said really nice things about Nicki and got a lot of cool footage.
Yeah, I've been a fan of his for a long time.
So there's a part in the documentary that is like a homage to him,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, do you have any distributors lined up?
I had a couple of distributors approaching me, and once it's done, I'm just gonna send it out and see what the options are.
Anything you can talk about openly? What distributors are?
One is an American distributor. The other one is from Europe.
Cool. So no.
No.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I kind of still wanna premiere it at a big film festival. A big film festival that has a market. So, when you go to these film festivals, then you can meet all these different distributors and channels.
Well, that's what they're for,
and,
like Cannes.
So, I tried with the Venice Film Festival, like the Italian Venice Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
But no. It was a very rough cut at the time. It was only 40 minutes. So they were like, oh, this is too short. You said the movie is 70 minutes. You can't send us 40 minutes. I was like, all right. So we'll see. I need to finish it. That's the thing. It has to be completely done with all the animations and the music. And
yeah, it seems like it's a lot of work. Do you just get
it's interesting, and I have good characters in it, and luckily nobody put out another twerk documentary in these 2 years. So, and it's still relevant because even if it's not as popular as before, but everyone knows what twerking is, and twerking videos are still coming out. Artists are still twerking, and especially in Europe, they catch up on everything very late. So now, the twerk phenomenon is huge in Europe right now. So
oh, is it?
Yeah, it's still relevant.
I wouldn't worry too much about the cultural relevancy. I don't think that's the basis of the film. It seems like it's more about whatever ideas you're pulling out of it from yourself. So you're not doing it based on how popular it is.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like talking about distribution and stuff, I don't think it's something that, nobody cares about anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be a selling point to pitch it?
What?
Its relevancy would be a selling point in pitching it to a distributor?
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah, no, because I was saying, I really need to finish it and, have it out as soon as possible.
Have you seen that James Toback film documentary where he goes to Cannes?
Mm-mm.
And he just walks around and he's pitching a film the whole time. And he just meets with really rich investor people. He just seat of his pants walking around Cannes with a film crew, and then made a documentary out of it. You haven't seen that? Do you know James Toback? I saw him speak when Sundance was at the Kabuki Theater in Japantown.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was right when when Tyson came out. He did that documentary on Mike Tyson.
How long ago?
Did you see that? I think the movie about Cannes came out a year and a half ago or something.
No,
like that.
I haven't seen it.
And then the Tyson documentary, that's 2008. So that's a while ago. They haven't seen that? He's one of my favorite filmmakers working today. Yeah.
What's the name of the Cannes documentary?
Oh, it's called...
and it's freezing.
It's got a silly name.
Here.
Oh, it's called Seduced and Abandoned.
Seduced and Abandoned. Okay, I need to watch that.
All right, should we wrap it up?
Yes.
All right.
It's 0 degrees in this room.
It's pretty cold in here. It's really nice outside today, too.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say on record or shout outs?
Well, shout out to everyone who donated to my film, and that's it.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. You've been listening to the Cameron Adair podcast, made by me, Cameron Adair. Thanks, Diana. You can find her work at spaghetto.tv and twerkumentary.com. Thanks as always to Patrick and Different Fur for letting us use the studio. This show, it's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, it's at CameronAdair.com/podcast. Be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and join me next time.